methanol injection kit.
Hits FM.
Let's see if we can post this on YouTube, because there's all shitty videos on YouTube. So what we're going to do, we're going to install a methanol injection kit into this 2009 Dodge Challenger SRT8 6.1 liter supercharged Vortec Beauty. Woo! So, factory windshield. This is what we're going to use. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Okay, let's go take a look underneath. Well, here we are. What I did, I just I tapped into the factory windshield washer fluid, made sure that my sensor, my windshield washer sensor, was going on at that level. So I wanted to make sure that the windshield washer fluid light low would come on inside the car, the factory light. So that's what I did. I checked it first, made sure I drained it to this level. And then after I drained it to the level, I tapped in 3/8, pretty simple. Took it out of the existing 1 gallon tank that comes with the kit. And now we're just gonna tighten this up. Make sure you get watertight seal. And that's it, we're plumbed in. We're wired for low levels. And we're ready to go to the next step. So now we're on to the next step. We're just mounting the pump. We found a great location for the pump. Basically, what we're gonna do, we're gonna mount it directly. I don't know if you can see that. We're gonna mount the pump directly below the windshield washer reservoir, and then that way there, it's gravity fed. There's our feed. So we tap that. That's tapped. Now we're gonna come into the inlet, which is on this side here. Right here, here's the inlet. And then we're gonna go to the outlet, and then basically, we're just gonna mount this in place right here. Once that's mounted, we'll be able to do a little bit of plumbing. We'll plumb this up, and we'll bring the line up to the top. So, this is an awesome little tool. You know, it's just a little corner drill. It's like $7.99. You get at the hardware store. But I mean, for hard to reach places, you get that 90-degree angle. Beautiful. You could use a DeWalt drill, and you know what? Attach this to it, and you're gonna get into those tight, hard to reach spots. It's a little tip, man. That's it. So what we did, we got the holes drilled. Now we're about to mount it. So give me a second, and I'll show you how it looks once it's mounted. Okay, so now we have it mounted. What we're gonna do, we're just gonna plumb it up. We have our outlet there coming from our windshield washer reservoir. We have, I'll get a good shot of it, the pump mounted right here. The inlet's on this side here. So we're gonna go basically from the outlet here directly into the inlet. Then from there, cross section up from the pump on this side, and we're gonna shoot straight up. So just grab this, take a quick measurement. Make sure you're right on the money. You don't want to be cutting and leaving sloppiness all over the place. You want to have a nice consistent bend. You don't want to have any sharp bends, no 90s, no nothing. Take your time, do this right. All right, so we have our pump mounted. Everything's done. I just plumbed up the line really quick. I just wanted to show you. It's a nice smooth transition going into the pump. There's no sharp corners. The line has some play on it, so it actually moves, which is good. You want a little bit of play on it. That's from this here. Basically, it's sealed up at the top, but there's a piece inside that allows it to move. And then basically we took it from the inlet right here. Then we're going to the outlet. We're going to bring it right up to the top, and that's what gets tapped in to our intake, about 5 inches before the throttle body. So roughly 5 inches from the throttle body, you want to tap it in over here. We're going to take this piece out. We don't want any kind of metal shavings or shards to come into the engine bay here. So we're going to take it out, and then once we tap that and have everything ready to go there, we'll put it back in. We're just going to run this line so it came up right from the bottom, nice and neatly, right along the inside here, and then you want to bring it up over there. The worst thing is when you have a mess. So we want to keep everything nice and neat the way we have. And yeah, ready for the next step after that. So now, after installing, or actually drilling the hole and then reinstalling our inlet pipe here, basically I'm going to take a tap. We've already drilled it, so we drilled it nice and clean, 3/8 hole. Okay. Now what we can do, I put a little bit of Teflon. They don't tell you to put a little bit of Teflon on the end of this, but I mean, I put a little Teflon. Make sure you don't cover the spray nozzle. Make sure that's wide open. You don't want to cover that. Obviously, it's not going to work if you cover it. So now we're just going to tap this and we're going to install it. I put it in a nice location so that way I could get a nice clean look out of it. You know what I mean? You want everything to be pretty as well as function. So I'm just going to tap this in. I'm going to run a threader through here. I actually have a threader, so I'm going to run a little bit of threader through there. Then I'm going to put this in there, and then we're going to connect the line, and we're going to go on to electrical. Just pull out the threader. We're just going to tighten this up. Be gentle with it. Make sure you watch your spacing. Make sure you don't over tighten it. Use the appropriate set wrench. Just gently. Really quick, all done, nice and neat. I put basically the plastic gasket here and here. So there's two locations that I use a plastic gasket. I feel more comfortable having two plastic gaskets. I had an extra one, so I just put it in the front, basically where the injector goes. So now I know that this is not going to leak, and I know that it's nice and snug over here as well. Then I just took my line, I ran it basically right through, just like we said, right behind. You can't see anything. Nice and clean. And then basically it goes down to the pump, which is down below where we previously mounted it. Electrical's next. So we're at electrical. Okay, so basically what I did, I just grabbed a piece of vinyl. It was a piece of vinyl from the door sweep, and because I didn't want to damage anything, so I used a piece of vinyl here, and then I just bring it through the firewall there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the wires right through here in the vacuum line, and basically I'm going to put a little hole in that grommet, the rubber grommet at the firewall, and I'm going to bring it through there so it's not rubbing on any metal. None of the wires will touch any metal, and it'll be the best way to come through because that's the factory way of coming through. So what I had to do, I had to basically remove the glove box because I'm going to place my dial in the glove box, and then you can see the vinyl coming through. We're going to bring it right through, and basically that'll be it for the wiring. So feeding it through the firewall, fairly easy. Just do it exactly the way I did if you have a 2009 Dodge Challenger. Just going to pull this vinyl out, and as I'm pulling, I'm just going to pull, oh, there we go. Wires are already through. So I got the vacuum line, got the wires here. I'm going to bring this right through. Try not to stretch anything. Okay. There we go. Put this up there. So our vacuum line. And basically our power, our ground, and everything else you need right at hand. Fairly simple. Into the wiring. Okay. Very easy diagram. Take a look at it. Simple, stupid, like anybody can read these instructions and follow them. They're very basic. Wires ran through the firewall. Okay, pretty straightforward. Bring this to power, ground. Okay, this runs your pump. Okay, the violet, there's two wires that are inside. I'm going to show you shortly. Those two wires are for the LED, and basically anything else, there's optionals. So basically you have your optional boost safe, which is the green wire. Okay, and then basically your brown and white wire is also optioned, so that's a solenoid. We don't need those in this application, so they didn't come with the kit. Pretty straightforward stuff. We're ready to install. Once we have power at the end, we'll just drop our vacuum line, which is right here. So I bring in the vacuum line, and I also bring in the wiring harness. So this is going to sit nice and neat in our glove box. Okay, then what I did, I just took off the front face here, just below the stereo, and I'm just going to drill a tiny little hole, make it nice and neat so the LED can go in there. And our LED's right here, so our green LED. Basically, it's gonna be basically just to the right of that. So, you know, nice and neat, nice and clean. Just a little hole there, maybe a little bit of silicone at the back to hold it in place, or hot glue, either way. Yeah, there's your indication that you have a working methanol injection kit. Okay, so nice little LED, nice and clean, all tucked away. Open up the glove box, pull out the controller. Controller's there, vac line's here. I'm going to cut this back a little bit. I just left it long just in case we might need a little bit extra. So that's there. And we're off to power and ground. Step by step. So basically what we've done now, we came right out of that rubber grommet, okay? Ran the line all the way along. We put this plastic covering on it just to make it look nice, number one, and to protect the wires, number two. So basically down here now, what we're going to do, we've tied it in, heat shrunk, basically, and a little bit of electrical tape on top of the heat shrinking, and then it goes right up to the pump there. What we're going to do, we're going to zip tie this after we cover it. I'm going to cut back this line, we're going to zip tie it, and then we're ready for basically power and ground. Okay, so I'm very happy you came on me with this journey and installing my meth injection into my 2009 Dodge Challenger. So I guess now it's the moment of truth. You know, I just have a little bit of cleanup to do over here with my positive, negative, and couple of wire covers, but everything's heat shrunk, all nice and cleaned up over here. So let's go see. What do we got? So there's that location where I melted that LED. Double click. Oh, she's lighting up. Sounds good. Look. Beautiful. Give a little test. Beautiful. It's working. So everything's ready to go. And that is basically it. I just got to clean up some wires over here. So those wires I didn't need. Those were all the options for other things you can add on. But other than that, there you have it. Installed, done, looking pretty. Till next time.